Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of the Good Night Podcast. Today we have a very special edition. Today, some would call it a takeover.
Yeah.
But we have a returning guest. You love her, you hate her. The one and only Joanna Silveraja.
Hello.
I think she's awesome, even though we disagree on some things.
Many
Joanna
things.
always wanted to have a podcast.
Yes.
And I told her, hey, why don't you co-produce this episode together and see how you feel about it?
C'est très généreux.
And if you're willing, and if it's something that, excites you and brings you joy, then you know what to do.
Yeah.
You could do this more often, or you can branch out and do your thing on your own.
If this sparks joy.
If this sparks joy or interest, or you enjoy the pain.
It's too far.
What?
Your drink.
I don't. Oh, you mean the drink you broke, Joanna?
I'm so
All right.
strong.
Yes.
Oh, well.
So, Joanna,
Yes.
how can I help you? How can I be of service?
I'm very grateful that we're doing this.
Yes.
Because we have so much conflict between each other.
You think?
It's not true. You always say we disagree, but I think we do disagree.
Mhm.
But I said this, I think, once before. It's like maybe our spirits are more aligned. You can be very caring and very,
Yes.
emotional
Yes.
in some ways, but the way you express things, I hate.
Okay.
I think at times, not all the time. But the first thing that I want to ask you
Yes.
is can you think about the last time that you changed your mind about something that you could talk about? That you really were like, oh, you know what? I thought A and now I completely think B.
I think it's just probably growing up.
No, but in the last 2 years.
2 years, things that I'm like, no, and then yes.
Or
I'll let
opposite.
my brain.
You let your brain-
I'll let my brain think about it. See if there's something that
See,
pops
it's,
in my mind.
Yeah, I thought about
But the
something
way I live my life is that if there's something that if someone brings me proof,
more evidence.
I'm like, okay. I try my hardest not to have my opinion or my ideas associated with my definition of me. I'll try because I have messed up ideas most of the time, because that's the job of being creative. You think terrible things. So I can't let these ideas define
The
me.
job of being creative is to think terrible things.
Yeah.
That can't be right.
In the sense that I enjoy dark humor, right?
Oh, sure.
So
okay.
I enjoy the things, babies,
Yeah.
paraplegic.
I get it.
You know what I mean? So I can't, when I have these ideas, they can't be associated with who I define myself as a person. And I try to do the same with opinions. My opinion towards a subject or the other does not necessarily reflect who I am as a person, which allows me to change them whenever I want.
Here we go. Your opinions as a person don't reflect. Wait, what? Your opinions don't
Who I
reflect
am, my definition of who I am as a person,
Yeah.
is not based on the opinions that I have.
What are you talking about?
I try to base it on my actions.
But an opinion is necessarily.
No, but I do have opinions. But as I said, if someone brings me,
I need an example. What does this mean?
Anything, just give me a subject and I'll tell you. Like, for example, let me think. But do you understand the concept and the fact that who I am as a person, I try to define it by my actions and how I am with others.
Yeah.
Not by the opinions that I carry.
The thing that you think.
Yeah, the things that I think, like the ideas I come up with, and my opinions on subjects.
You can think a person is a bad person, let's
Yes.
say, but your action would be to give them a drink, to invite them, to be kind with them, even if you think they're bad, because the action is like you want to be a caring person.
Regarding people or regarding, I don't know, things in the zeitgeist. You understand what I mean?
No.
In the sense, for example, I'm from the Middle East, right?
Yes.
And sometimes I'll meet people who are very pro-Israel, and I'll meet people who are very pro-Palestine.
Yes.
And my opinion is completely different than both of them together. However, I will not judge the person I'm talking to negatively if they're completely against me. If they say something, I'll tell them it's true, but that won't affect what I think of them. Also, my opinion about the situation does not mean that I treat people who think differently than me differently. Does that make sense?
Yes, but nobody should treat people that think, I don't know.
I think it's very hard, especially in 2026, where everybody tries to, I don't want to say the people who control
snowflakes?
us. No. The people who control us, they try to divide us based on our opinions on subjects.
Yes.
And it's very hard. I'm lucky I'm old, and I'm able to not think like this.
You're old?
I'm very old. I'm old. I'm
Don't
like
I know it?
602 years old. But I'm still trying to think things that changed my mind. Probably somebody brought up something like,
I need to know it. I say that because many times when we've been on opposite sides of an issue, you'd say things like, You only read these things.
Yes.
You're brainwashed.
Yes.
Which is a crazy thing to say to someone that you disagree with. You
Yes.
could just say you disagree.
Okay, here's because you tend to do this, and I respect it.
You
Sometimes
better tread lightly in a
you'll-
public space.
you'll send me like Amer. You tell me my opinion. I'll tell you like you're insane to think this. Maybe I shouldn't
Yeah.
say this, but I consider
You definitely shouldn't say this.
I consider you as a friend, so I allow myself to say
Sure,
these ridiculous
sure.
things. And then you'll send me like proof. Like you'll send me
Not
text
proof. I'll tell you
photos,
something that I read.
photos of like people, and I read them, and this bothers me more because there's so much fallacy in the logic being used in the arguments that you send me. And like, she's a smart person. I've
Me.
hung up. Yes, she should see that there's a fallacy in the logic that is being used.
But I also think that part of it is not. This is it's very like men come from Jupiter, women come from Mars thing. Because I was just speaking to a male comedian about this that you know. I know, haram.
A male?
A boy. About this whole, it's very like, men are logical, women are illogical.
Yes.
But instead of saying that, let's say women are emotional.
Women, you have your ability, and I see this in my girlfriend. You are so in touch with your emotions.
Yes.
And you're so fidèle. How do you say fidèle in English?
Loyal?
Women are so loyal to their feelings that I find that sometimes it hindered their relationship with people.
In what way?
Men tend to be loyal to their brothers in arms, to a flag, to a country,
Which is crazy.
to a company, exactly. And women are loyal to their feelings.
What?
Yeah.
To my own feelings.
Yes, to their feelings and how certain situation, like let's say you have a guy, you're talking to a person, you're not loyal to that person, you're loyal to how the person treats you and makes you feel. And I find people who are like assholes, not assholes, but like, womanizers, or women who know how to talk to women, charming men. They'll use this to get what they want from women because they understand that if I make this woman feel a certain way, I can get whatever I want from her.
But that's true for anybody.
Sorry?
That's true for anybody. You're in comedy.
Women are more susceptible because I find they're so in touch with their feelings, which is tremendous. I wish I was more in touch with my feelings.
You're incredibly emotional.
I would like to. I am emotional, but I'm not. I don't read them as well. My dictionary is of feelings.
Yes.
And I'm learning. And of course, you grow older. My estrogen is going up, so I'm becoming more. I'm becoming more.
You're
feminine.
transitioning.
I'm transitioning, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and men, it's like my brothers. They're loyal to family, to the brothers in arms, to a country.
But these
to
are
a
all
brand.
still. But why?
I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying this is the reality.
It sounds like you're saying one's better than I think that's what it is. Is like you will have like a neutral. You'll be like, I'm just being neutral, which to me like, no, you're not. You're being a butt. But usually a butt, like an asshole.
An asshole. Okay.
But I would never say that to you because I know that you're not. So
Okay.
sometimes this only happened because we've done two tours now.
Yes.
And in both times we were
Yes.
talking about something, and then I feel like you were getting emotional,
Yes.
but I wouldn't use that word because you're a boy. And then I just was like, oh, I think that we're done this conversation. And then you've been like, there's an energy shift. What's going on? But to me,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm not. I will like the irony of you saying that I'm emotional, whatever, is that I'm actually trying to stop myself from becoming emotional.
Well,
and like,
there's nothing wrong with being emotional. I repeat myself. There's nothing wrong is when being emotional turns you into being unreliable. This is where it becomes an issue.
credible.
Sorry?
Unreliable means, like,
I'll give you an example, and we can cut it off if you don't want. Remember, you're supposed to do one of my shows, and then you got into an argument.
I was emotional.
And you
or
got
whatever.
You got into an argument with someone.
Sure.
And then because of that argument with that person, you're like, Amer, I can't do that show. And then you dropped out of other shows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind that you got into an argument with someone.
Yeah.
It happens. You deal with people.
Yeah.
But the fact you're like, because of that, I'm going to drop off shows. Then you're putting stress on me and on the other producers to find your replacement.
Yeah.
And I mean, I will always love you.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll still work with her.
Yeah.
But it's like, God damn it. It's when emotional makes you unreliable, then it becomes an issue, especially in the context of business.
Sure.
That you are, yeah.
Okay, fine. Point, Amer. Point 15
This
love.
is not, I do not want you to think that this is a tennis match where who's getting points and who's winning.
It's not.
This is a co-production. We're co-creating something together.
Amer, you're my new nemesis. Truly.
I'm your new nemesis. I'm not white. Why am I?
You're white presenting.
Ah, god damn it.
That's okay. That's fair. But I think
You really think I'm your new nemesis?
No, I don't. I do. But I also like. There's something about there's certain men in the scene.
Yes.
You.
Yes.
Sid Kular. Maybe just the two of you. No, I'm joking. No, but actually, I think it's because you guys are of a certain age and you grew up at a certain time, and my brother is your age.
Yes.
And
so we remind you of your brother.
It's like it's such a similar thought process, and all the ways that I've fought with my brother because he's my brother, that I've been like, like I haven't spoken to him in like 6 months or
you
whatever.
Really?
Not 6 months.
I'm sorry to hear. This is terrible.
No. I am speaking to my brother.
Okay, now
I'm saying like when we've like in the past, him and I, like when we fight, this is the pattern. Ian will say something crazy. I will not. I will say something normal, sisterly. No. One of us will say something that the other one doesn't like. We'll have the fight. Like a blowout fight. Yeah. Because I think we're both. Well, I get anyway, and then I can't ever get over it with him, so we just won't talk for like 2-3 weeks, and like clockwork. When I was younger, he was like, "Do you want to go for dinner?" Because he had money, and I was
That's
like,
nice.
"Fine," and then we'd go for dinner. We wouldn't talk about it, and I was like, "Okay."
Do you think that experience you had with a sibling is so important
in shaping?
In the sense that in shaping your ability to have conversations with men. With men you disagree with colleagues, with boyfriends, with husbands.
Absolutely.
It's so important. And I find this new generation who's growing up, because most people now have like one child. So the child doesn't grow up with someone who they loathe, but
love.
They love completely.
I love my brother.
It's my brother and my sister, they were my first nemesis. Nemesis?
Yeah.
But also I know they love me with no... I like... It's such a comforting feeling to fight physically with someone, but knowing that they're not going to kill me. You understand? And it's
on
the
purpose.
Same thing when you argue. Exactly. When you argue, you learn to control your emotions. You learn also to, and I always say this to my sister.
No, but I don't. That's my point.
I always say to my sister is that, like, my sister and I used to fight all the time, like physically.
Physically fight.
Of course.
You're how many years apart?
4.
Okay.
So we used to fight, and now she's married.
That's what we're picking up on.
And now she's married. But I know that her husband, if her husband ever decides to lay a hand on her, she knows how to turn on this madness switch.
Sure.
Because she did it with me.
Sure.
You understand? She did it with me. She did it with her other brother.
Yeah.
She's it won't be a new feeling like, oh no.
Yeah.
Someone just, pushed me. She's like, oh, I've been there. Get ready. I'm gonna stab you with a knife.
She's gonna fight back.
Exactly. So, and I find that having brothers and sisters is so important. I'm worried about the next generation because they don't know how to deal. I always said my brother beat the autism out of me.
Maybe not all of it, but some of it.
Just enough for me to be able to have a podcast.
I mean, yeah. I think that my siblings help me understand other people more. Or sorry. Yeah, I guess it's one or the other. So because we grew up the same, right? It's like, I'll see my parents do something. And my sister will be like, they're doing it because they're X kind of person. My brother will be like, no, they're doing it because they're this kind of person. Why? And I'll be like, oh, there's somewhere in between. I would like to think that I'm the like Goldilocks of our family. But of course, we're all fighting. And so then when one of them reacts, how do I say this? I don't know your past. So if you act a certain way, I'll be like, you know what? I don't know. I'm like that. Maybe he's been through it. But with your siblings, you do know. So you're like, fuck you. Yeah. I know exactly what you went through. You're being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But now when I'm so when I grew up, or when I met you, or when I met Sid, or when I met other men of a certain age who grew up in a certain place in a certain time, and immigrant kids specifically, I'm like, why do you guys all have this in common? It's like a little bit not avoidant. You less so, but it's a way of speaking that is so like, maybe it's confident. I would say it is
direct.
Definitely. Maybe it's direct, but no. But other people are direct. But there's just like an older brother. Of like, yeah, you just don't get it because of this. You just don't know because like you're so young. And I'm like, no, I'm a grown up. I'm a big girl. Like I've made these decisions on my own. But there's also that thing about like, you're saying it's not better than the other. But there is this like, well, we're just trying to use the facts here and we're just being so logical. And when I'm like, that's not true. And I'm bawling. It's like, I know you just can't like control yourself. I'm like, yes, I can. But it's not. But I think like I had to be like in my 30s, but I'm not less than. Or just because I have to like cry through my argument, it doesn't mean that it doesn't make it. But I know for men, it like shuts it down. Like, listen, if you're gonna cry about this shit,
well, it depends with who you cry, right?
I'll cry with everybody now.
Yeah,
I didn't use that.
If my girlfriend or my mom or my sister cry, they mean they're my woman.
Yeah.
So I take care. If you're like, I'll be like,
no, but that's crazy to me because why do we okay that like when a man yells in a boardroom?
Yes. No, that's wrong. You shouldn't.
Sure, but that's the same as a woman crying in a boardroom. But we're much more inclined to be like, yeah, but men are just like this.
No, not in 2026.
Are you crazy?
You think in 2026 in the corporate world that is terrified.
100%.
A corporate world with the HR world is ran by women.
100%.
The HR world is run by women.
It doesn't matter. HR is still even in your company.
Yeah.
Like, HR is for the company.
Yeah, only and purely for the company. People think HR is meant to defend the employees. They're so wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
HR is here to make sure that the company doesn't get sued.
Yeah.
And doesn't lose millions of dollars.
Yeah.
They're here to defend the company. You think in that world they will allow a man being verbally violent?
Of course. I know so many people.
I work a lot and I worked for 12 years in industries, and that was never tolerated. Even when I was younger.
You were in engineering and stuff.
Yes.
That's a different thing. I'm talking about like in banking, in consulting, in these like major like alpha
Not as much. Do you work in these worlds? Can you cite your sources?
I wouldn't cite them here. For legal reasons, I'm joking. I mean, I used to work at the bank, and they would send me and I would like hear people like men like just going off
to other things.
Men. Someone was on the phone, sometimes it was men to men, but people, and I was like, what is happening, right? Like that, whatever. Not that I haven't heard like a woman yell or things like that too, or in restaurants, right? Men are like they're just
as clients.
No, within the company.
Yeah. Okay. You mean like between the staff of a restaurant?
Yeah. Of course. No, I'm not saying that you just yell at a person, but I'm just saying that. So to go back to the things that I'm sending you, I think when you say like you're too smart or whatever, but it's like no, it's just a different perspective on why I have these opinions or these things, and like there are real world consequences. But I'm more inclined to be like, what is this doing like to your soul? So when you just say like you have a loyalty to a brand.
Yeah. Not me, but men sometimes have that. Yeah.
You know, a person like that is kind of strange to me because the brand is not a person. It's a
corporation.
Like, what do you? What do you care?
Men.
You have to care about the person. You have to care about their feelings.
Men tend to follow leaders, like armies.
Yeah. Alexander
the great leader, great talkers will amass soldiers. I don't know. I think they just look up to.
No, it's like I feel like this is like there's no female loneliness epidemic, right? It's the male loneliness epidemic because the guys don't know how to be in touch with their feelings and how to have like friends.
Here's the thing. I can't talk about this because I'm blessed. I have male friends that I cherish tremendously.
Gay.
And oh my God.
I was joking. I don't think it's gay to have.
I'm the gayest straight man you'll meet.
It's not gay to have male friends. Every man should have this.
I'm blessed with with good male friendships.
Do you have good female friendships? Are we allowed to talk about that? We can kind of get.
Sure. Do I have no? I would say you're the closest I have to a female friend.
That's wild. No. Me and the baby, your best friend's baby, are your best female friend.
Alice, God bless her.
But that's crazy to me. I also think that's part of it too. Is that men don't do that? They don't be friends. So like, how could you tap into your?
Well, if I may, Joanne.
You may not. Sorry.
If I may.
Go.
I find, and this is gonna be
tread.
Get ready,
lightly.
Internet. I find that women have difficulties building deep friendships.
Why do you find that?
In my experience, I've seen it
from your ex-girlfriends because you don't have that many women friends.
Exactly. Yeah. Like when a man is dating a girl, you get introduced to her female circle.
Yes.
And it seems to me
female circle.
Yeah, I
hate the way you said that. What does that sound?
Her female friends.
Her friends.
Her friends. Yeah, but usually it's women. Women.
Yeah. Her
group of friends, and it's as if in female friendships. I'm trying to be very polite and eloquent because I don't want to say
for me or for them.
I don't want to sound incendiary, and I realize I have a tendency to
incendiary is a great word. I don't even know what that means. Hit me with it.
And I find women.
Wait, what does incendiary mean?
Like that stir emotions.
Honestly, you seem very subdued in a way that's making me very uncomfortable. I feel like you're like if they're and
this is not an Amer. This is not a Good Night podcast. This is the Amer
and Joe
but battle it out.
Exactly. Be you. Continue.
I find
I'm gonna look up incendiary later.
Their friendships. Okay, so female friendships, they tend to be purposeful in the sense like, oh, that's my shopping friend. This is my going to club friends.
Okay.
This is if I'm sad, I'll call that friend.
Sure.
I have no. My friends have no role. Like we talked about in the car last time. What makes my friendships, God bless, hope they last forever, is that I have no expectations from them. And I find yes, I have zero expectations. I love them just the way they are. I don't need them to do anything for me, or I just be who you are, and I love your soul. I find women, it's different. It's like, oh, that's my friend. Oh, that's no. Like
but
let's say like an ex girlfriend of mine. I remember clearly she was sad. I'm like, oh, but you're going to see this friend. She's like, no, but like she's my party friend. We don't we don't talk.
Yes.
So women, and then you hear this old saying that women, they can't be friends. Women don't have friends. You know that old saying. I'm like, I wonder if. First of all, tell me, where does this urban legend
feeling come
from? How right is it? And in my opinion, it has evolved because women now, they're more part of society more than they were 50 years ago.
Yes.
In the sense that probably they, developed.
Yeah.
So tell me, where does this urban legend
I'm not the
come
Lorax of women, but I can't speak for everybody.
I don't know what Lorax mean, but I know what incendiary
It's actually from a book. I'm going to be really embarrassed when I tell you what the Lorax is, because yours is a real word and mine is a fictional character from a Dr. Seuss book.
Ah.
You've never heard that?
Famous anti-Semite, Dr. Seuss.
One and the same. That's a joke. I'm a Semite. I love Jewish people. The Lorax.
Joanna.
Stop.
I've seen you make Jewish people uncomfortable.
Me. What?
I have.
The Lorax is a book from Dr. Seuss. It's called The Lorax, and it's about this little creature who, it's like a climate change book, essentially. So it's like a capitalism climate change book. So this character comes into town, and he keeps cutting down trees to make stuff. And the Lorax is like, hey, you gotta save the trees. And he says, I'm the Lorax. I speak for the trees every time. So if someone says, I'm not the Lorax of M Hostel, it's like, I don't speak for everybody. So I'm not the Lorax of women. But I do think when it's like the patriarchy, right, is meant to control everything, including the women. So it's like a house divided. So I do think that it's easier to divide women. So it's like, who benefits most from women fighting with each other? The men. Who benefits most from any company like divide? It's like whoever is like in charge. So that's one way that I think that we've tried to divide women, is be like, they don't want to be friends anyway. They were literally isolated. You can't go out and do things. Like, you are subject to the man of the house, forever.
Now we're talking when women
exactly.
were like, you stay in the kitchen and you don't leave for 6 years. Okay.
But even just like a strength thing, right? If there are certain places where you can't do it. But I also think that, like, again, we just see a fight between women differently than we see a fight between men. And I used to always tell, when I used to volunteer with the teens, I was like, I never want to hear like, Joanna's so mean, like, in their schools. Like a lot of them went to like this all girls school. They went to Villa Maria. And I was like, don't say that. I was like, they are people. So I was like, if the girls are mean, then the boys are mean, right? Like, it's all the same. But when the guys were jerks, it was like, he's just joking. He's just like that. But when the girls are, it's like, what a bitch. And I feel that way, even especially in comedy. I think I told you this before. Once I was, in my early days at the Comedy Nest, I remember it was Lawrence Korber and Miriam Khan were, they're both very good comedians. We were doing like a Tuesday show. Whatever it was, Lawrence came late to the show. So Miriam had made a joke about like a couple in the crowd. And it was for me, like a very vanilla-ish joke, but it was very obvious like they turned on her fast. And it was like, ugh, like that was so like she like, I could tell like they're looking at her like a mean girl. It was like a mean-spirited joke, let's say, but a very classic like host roast joke. But she wasn't hosting, right? Lawrence came a little bit later because he was like closing or something, or he came and made like a very similar kind of thing, maybe a different couple, and they fucking ate it up. And I was like, that was really shitty, because pound for pound, I was like, they were in the similar vein, and she was doing well. But like, I think it's like and I feel the same when I'm hosting, I can't get away with the same things that like the men can get. Like I have to be so careful about, if they think I'm a bitch at the top, I'm done for. But if Ben roasts them, they're like, what a goofball, what a this, right? And so
men is different. Men, it's women, if they're not careful, they come out as bitches.
Yeah.
Men, if they're not careful, they come out as creeps. So
that's based on your looks, I would say. But
I mean, all comedians are within a range of hotness. I mean, some of them are like, but it's still, there's no nines in the comedy world.
That's not true.
No, we're all between. But we're all between.
Don't rank them
4
in.
and 7. The hottest comedian.
Any male comedian want that? Any
That's
boys?
a compliment. They're funny, so they become a 9. But looks, physically, eh. You know what I mean?
Okay. Anyway.
So anyway, so yeah, so that's it's okay. It's just part of the art.
But that's what I'm
That, in
saying.
the
So
sense
when
that
you say
we
like,
have to be careful not to come out as creeps, and you have to be careful.
but what
not
I'm
to come out
saying
as
is like where these things
Yeah.
come from is
Yeah.
just that is like we've just like painted women.
So you
as
don't
this,
you don't
like-
believe it's true that no, you're like no, female friendships are totally
No,
normal.
I would say there are some. They're. It's like you are who people think you are at some point. Does that make sense?
No, please develop.
It's like when I was a kid, I used
Yeah.
to lie all the time for nothing.
You used to lie?
I used to lie. I was just like, and it would just be like, I was with the president today, and I was like, why would you lie about that? But like, why not? I want to be interesting, whatever. And then my dad used to beat us. Like those were the worst beatings. If you got found out with a lie, it was like terrible. So then at some point I was like, this is not. So I would tell the truth, but I had already had a history of lying,
Mm-hmm.
so nobody believed me. Like
Yeah.
the boy who cried wolf. And then at some point you kind of relapse. I'm like, you know what? If you're gonna treat me like a liar, I'm gonna lie. Like I'm gonna. So you are who people think that you are. At some point, if you tell someone enough that like they're this, they're that, they're just gonna morph into it. It's like, what's the point of trying to be different if you're gonna treat me like I'm this way, regardless?
Okay, I don't want to. Again, I don't want to
Just
stir the
no,
pot.
Don't do this.
The idea of a woman not taking accountability, again, blaming the others.
What do you mean?
It's a trope. Right now, you're saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's
no.
it's not
I'm not
us.
saying. Sorry.
People kept seeing they us, so we're just gonna be like that?"
No. But when you say how do we get here, this
Yeah.
is what I'm saying, right? Is like if you isolate women, if you tell them that there's one thing, and then like you have to fight to make it out. Like I don't have. When I would hear this trope, this mean girl trope, I will say after the age of like, I started Emmanuel when I was like 12, like 15, maybe 14
Yeah.
even. I could see, right? I have a mean girl. We know everybody has a mean girl in their life, whatever it is. But the girls that I have surrounded myself with of the age of 15 until my closest friend now that I've met in the last level would be Raji, right?
Mhm.
At 30, I was like, they're great. They are like, I know when people are like, they're not like most girls. I'm like, actually, I think the mean girls aren't like most girls. I would argue it's that like that's where it's shifting, but we've just like had it in our minds about like, well, that's just how it is. Like, no, it's not. I know a bunch of like wonderful women, and I know a bunch of wonderful men and a bunch of terrible men, but the men just don't get labeled that way. Like guys are like, well, you're an alpha and you're like let's say jealous, right? There are men who like the Andrew Tates of the world,
Yeah.
let's say, or like these like very right wingish, not incels. I don't know the opposite of it, right? These like right wing men who have wives who are this, who are like, we're the men of the house. The women are not to dress this way. They're to have these like but they have like what looks good on the outside. But they won't be told like, yeah, you're like a crazy jealous bitch. That's what you are. Like you don't want your girlfriend, your wife to have guy friends because you're whatever.
You know
But the
what's crazy?
women are jealous bitches.
You know what's crazy? That attracts a percentage of women. This energy.
For
this
sure.
Like, I'm the man. I provide. You do as I
Yeah.
say. Look,
But I don't
most
think
women
that's
I've
crazy.
met kind of enjoyed being
Maybe
like
you've
sexually.
met crazy.
No, sexually. What's the word? Not subdued.
I bit my nails because I'm nervous,
Please
which I
don't.
learned is a thing.
No, what's the word again?
Subdued. Don't say that.
No. But in the bedroom, women like to be
Submissive. Yeah.
Well, that sometimes also, infiltrates into also real life. So there's a lot of men who want that. They're like, this is,
Sure.
I want to fuck
But
him.
you know what I mean? My censor that. That's
It's
my
true.
creative
C'est
control.
vrai. C'est vrai.
But that's my point. Is like the
And
men,
older I get, the more women are honest about that.
the men are allowed to be ABC. They're allowed to be mean. They're allowed to be nice. They're allowed to be goofy. They're allowed to be funny. They're allowed
Yeah.
to be whatever. But the women, it's like you're a nice girl or you're a mean girl, and nary should the two meet. And then you end up painting someone. So if I go to someone and I'm
do you feel that you're an artist, you make part of your living expressing yourself as a person?
yes,
I don't see you being a good girl or a mean girl.
don't?
I see goofy. I see silly. I see mean.
But you know me.
I see stabby.
When
like,
everything
like,
when everything happened, right?
Yeah.
And everybody was
righteous, trying to be self-righteous.
not self-righteous, regular. Not
You know what I mean? Like,
but I'm saying when everything happened, what
Yeah.
was the shitty thing was that everybody was like, and you call yourself Christian, and you call yourself nice, and I was like, you called me that. I mean, I call myself Christian, but like I was like, I'm a person who's trying to be as good as I can be in general, as kind as I can be.
Mhm.
But I'm still a person, which means I will act out of character, right? But then it becomes like, well, a good person would never, and you're like, And it's kind of what we talked about before we started the podcast of like now we paint people with one brush. If you did one thing that I'm not about, it's like But I don't know how we got here.
The good thing and the bad thing of living 2026 is that we're all becoming slaves. We're all modern day slaves, and we all have to abide by our company's rule book. So men or women, whatever naturally, instinctively you want to react, you can't, because your company. Yeah. The charter of your company does not allow you to do this.
Yeah.
So HR is just controlling everybody's,
but there
actions,
has to be some
opinion.
kind of parameters. Not controlling anybody's opinion.
Well, here's the thing. It used to be religion, right? When religion ruled the world, you have to abide by your whatever book of your country was.
Yeah.
But then religion died. But people still want a book to follow. And it became the company's handbook.
Religion had the monopoly.
And we're lucky we're artists. We don't have to abide by any of that.
We're people. We have to abide by the social contract.
I think most people, you do something and the way you feel on the inside. Like, I shouldn't have done that, or I should have done that. Don't you feel it? Don't you have a good compass inside of you?
Oof. Does everybody have that?
I think most people do. I think unless you're a psycho, I think most people do.
No.
There's no. Here's the thing. Because there's no way evolution would lead to create an entity that exists that has to live within a community. It has to live, right? As a human, we have to live as a community without giving us the tool to judge if our actions are good or bad. Come on. Evolution does not make mistakes. Whatever, not make mistakes, in the sense that.
But evolution is biological.
We are equipped to deal with these things. I don't think we are not. But then again, people who, like, what is it?
But you said earlier
God is the opium of the people.
Religion is the opium of the masses.
Religion of the opium of the masses. People see this and then they're like, no, you have to follow this book and you have to pay me, and I'm the guy who's gonna teach you. That's what
but
happens.
You
but
can't.
I think the way, like, you feel inside. Sometimes, like, you feel inside. Sometimes, I'll say things. I'm like, all right, maybe that was not the best way to say it, or maybe I wasn't as honest as I could have, or maybe I didn't act in a way that was worthy. But I don't know. Maybe I'm different. But I'm like, okay, this is my mistake. Try not to ever do it again.
Sometimes you're wrong.
Yeah, but that's okay.
But but I'm saying, that's why I asked you before. It's like, but sometimes you could do something.
Yes.
I think I really have to burp, but I don't do it.
Burp.
I can't. You scared it.
Let's get it in Dolby 5.1. Joanna burping. So unwomanly.
So unbecoming, unladylike. Someone told me that.
Incendiary.
I said the F word, and a Christian woman. Fuck.
Oh.
That's actually the only word I'd say.
Yeah, you don't say the other one?
Nope.
You never?
I don't even think I said it.
You call them sodomites? What do you call them?
Yeah, that's what I
Residents of hell?
At one point, I would have. The problem with, like, your compass is that I think that a lot of what we see is like, but their compass is telling them, I know, because my compass used to be off. I was so sure that I was doing the right thing every time. Like, I don't think. Oh, that's not true. I think some people.
But don't you just, at the end of the day, there's one rule that counts, and I think it. Like, I know it's in Buddhism, but I think Christianity put in, like, do unto others what you wish to be done unto you.
But that's a terrible rule, because people are different. The rule is not do unto others what you want to be done unto you. You and I are different people.
Yes.
You got to love someone the way they want to be loved.
Oof.
You're not. I'm very affectionate.
You have to love someone the way they want to be loved.
The way they have to be loved.
That is.
That's not
so
new.
Heavy.
What do you mean?
Then you cannot. Oh my God. I'm trying to think. Love. Okay, so you're saying you should love someone the way they want to be loved?
Yes. This can't be news to you. You're an old man.
No, you just love and you try, but
yeah.
Okay. Let's see here.
I'm very affectionate. I'm a very touchy person.
Yes.
It's how I show love in general. And I know, like, a couple times you've been like, please don't. So I'm like, okay. And so, but I like to be hugged too.
Yeah.
By certain people. Don't fucking show up and hug me. But if I were like, but Amer, I love you, and I just hugged you all the time, that's not fine.
No, you did still treat me the way I want to be treated, the way you want to be treated. Sorry, you still treat me the way you want to be treated because you have boundaries, and you like your boundaries to be respected.
Yes.
And then you're like, oh, okay, he has boundaries.
But if touch is my love language.
In the sense, but you still have your boundaries.
Yes, I know.
In the sense that you just applied, like, oh, there's things he doesn't like, and there's things I don't like, and I don't like that being done to me, so I'm not going to do it to him. You still treated me the way you want to be treated. In the sense, it's just that it's different.
But that's true. Yes, fine. That is true for everybody. Yeah. But I think the problem is that, like, so speaking of sodomites, there was when I was in the like evangelical church proper, and they were like, it's a sin to be gay, and I really believed it. I would see these like these people who, you know, we're not baking a cake for the gay couple. We're going to be picketing at all these places. And I was like, oh, for sure. But
in your church, people were doing that?
No. This is on the news. In my church,
Okay.
we didn't talk with them. Like I didn't know any gay person until I was 18 years old. And even when I met them, I remember the distinction in my mind. I was like, well, I have to love them because I'm Christian, but I know that like if she died tomorrow, like she'd burn in hell. Like that was.
How do you deal with that now?
I met people and I read and I was, but meeting people was like the major thing. I remember the first person when she came out to me and she said specifically, she was like, I almost didn't know what to do because she thought I was going to judge her for it, and I did.
Yeah.
But the second person, so I had a best friend in college. So I'm still best
let's
friends
take a
with
break.
now.
Just
Sorry,
fix your mic. This is
anyway. My friend, who I had known to be straight anyway for a long time, and then
Joanna Burps. That's the name of the podcast.
Jurassic Park.
The
level.
Burps. The Burps with Joanna and Amer.
A friend of mine was like, like this person is gay, and I'm like, no, she's not. And he was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, she's dating someone in this place, and I was so taken aback. Not one because I was surprised, but two, I was like, why did she tell me? Why is this fucking like? It was like for me, it's like a random guy. I was like, why did you know? And then I messaged her because I was trying to get it out of her. I was like, oh, like, how are things? Are you seeing anybody, like a guy or a girl? And she immediately went, who told you? And I was like, what? And we talked, and now we've been friends for such a long time. So she ends up confessing, just telling me what it was. But then when we had dinner, when she got back, she was on vacation. I remember it was the first time I was like convicted, and I was like, am I a shitty friend? I was like, that's a major thing. And she was really sweet. She's like, no, it wasn't about you. It was like me. But I was like, no, but like now that it affected someone that I really cared about, I was like, how can I think that this like wonderful person is going to be in hell? And already I was like, even if she wasn't Christian, right? But I was like, and I started to read more and more things, and I started to feel very like, I feel like the like homophobia is a quintessential like church made thing. I know that a lot of religions, there's an interpretation about it.
Islam for sure.
But Islam came after Christianity, so fine. But Christianity like
Judaism,
patented it, and they did like
If they
conversion therapy and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
But I had
in Iran, I don't know if you know this.
But I had to meet someone.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
And know about it. And as far as like emotions are concerned, it was always like John Barillo taught me this. Like, why are we talking about this? Okay, about divorcing, like me feeling like I was right. So whatever horrific thing somebody would tell a gay person, or whatever horrific thing like my parents would say, or my God, like to people, it was like, but it's under the guise of love. Like you're hard on someone because you love them, because you want them to go to heaven. That's the only way. So that's what I learned what love was. And then you start to experience like a different thing. I was like, I think that you could disagree with someone, let's say, and say it in a loving way, or maybe you don't have to say it at all, or maybe God is more loving than you think that they are. And then John Barillo and I were talking, and it like blew my mind. This is way later, but he said the way people talk about how God feels about a given thing, and it's like, well, I don't mind it. I don't care that they're gay, but like it's God, right? And then he's like, so am I nicer than God? Impossible. And that really hit me. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. It's impossible that I'm more forgiving or I'm more loving than God. I don't know how God does or doesn't decide things, but
it's very easy back then to say God said that, but
It's
I don't think
easy.
God said anything. Now it's much easier, much difficult to trick people. But back then you could say, "Oh, I'm the voice of God," and God says the homosexuals
But I would call our collective moral compass God, and it's why some people are further south than other people are. Where I'm like, you're not really tapping into the collective or how you feel about people, how you treat people with your emotions and your feelings. Like if you're too logical, but like people aren't robots. That's why whenever someone's like, oh, like women are emotional, I'm like, good, someone has to be. Like you gotta be.
Whatever my feelings are on the subject of like, women are emotional, women can be annoying, blah blah blah. Whatever it is,
Big jump from emotional to annoying.
I always say, and we're in 2026.
Yeah.
Child mortality has dropped tenfold in the past 50 years.
Yeah.
We can fly from one country to the other. We live till the age of 80 healthily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have good lives because men and women work together. You know what I mean? However it was divided as a society, it was both of these groups of people. They put their brains together, and now we live in a world that I kind of like.
Sure.
So I cannot say that one is better than the other because it took teamwork
Yes.
to reach the level that we are now.
I don't think that you think
When I look at the Middle East, where it's mostly men
double
controlling
Yeah.
the government, most jobs like in fucking
But that's still the
Afghanistan.
case. The
And
men control everything still.
Not really, Joanna.
What do you mean?
No, but let's take an extreme of let's say Afghanistan, where women have literally no position. They still live
Sorry.
in
A man.
they still live in caves, some of them, and
Sure, the
the
women
child
have it much
mortality
less.
because they didn't use the power of both these groups to achieve
To their advantage.
greatness.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the sense that of course, like whatever they are, however you feel about women in general as a person, as a man, you cannot deny the fact that it's teamwork that led to this great world that we live in.
I guess it's teamwork. but
Whoever was
it's-
in charge, who gives a shit who's in charge, Joanna? Who cares who's in charge?
It does matter who's in charge because it matters who gets to make a
cares
final
who-
decision.
Whatever it is, look at the result. It was teamwork. Maybe some people are better at taking the lead, and a leader is as important as the concierge, like as the janitor in a building. I really think so.
Sure.
If you want something to succeed, as
But
in
if
this
there-
world,
if-
our
if
culture,
your
you need
leader-
everybody.
But yeah, my
Some
mind is all
people
over.
I enjoy being a leader way more and
Yes.
and want for it. And you have, but the thing is, it's not always gender related. Men tend to want that, but very few men tend to
Yes.
arrive that. But you have Margaret Thatcher, you had Golda Meir, the I think Prime Minister
But those
of Israel.
people had to
You-
fight so hard to get there.
Everybody. Okay, here's the thing that I think sometimes I find women they think when a man says I want to be in charge, easy breezy, lemon squeezy,
No.
welcome. Nobody reaches the summit of whatever domain they want as a
Without-
leader without levels, like without challenges that would make 99% of the population crumble. It's just that women will have their own, but also women have their own superpowers. Their ability to read a room way better than men, their emotional intelligence, their ability to
But here-
create a serene,
sure.
a peaceful. Men, as you said, we tend to be more confrontational. Women are able to
Yes.
communicate their words, their thoughts better and create bridges way better. That's also a strength. In the sense, if you're aiming to be number one, the apex in whatever domain,
Yeah.
you have to use all the tools you have.
For sure.
But to say that one gender has it easier than the other, maybe to middle management. But if you want to be the apex, if you want to be prime minister or a
That's a
president,
crazy thing to say to me.
don't know.
I absolutely that's why like you don't understand. You have to. What I just said about the comedians, the whatever is like I have to. You're not worried about people thinking you're a bitch. You're
no,
worried
but
about
I'm
being
worried that people
creepy.
think I'm a creep. But that's our mountain to climb.
But you have it's the things.
Why is it less worse? How can I say it? Why is your challenge bigger than mine?
Because I have to also be funny and also be no. What? Okay, the let's say even like like pretty privilege and things like that.
Yes.
If I'm using comedy, right?
Yes.
If a girl is too attractive,
Yes.
she's not gonna be taken seriously because
Yes.
like she's just like she's a airhead, she's a whatever, right?
Yes.
But if she's too sloppy or whatever,
Yeah.
it's like she's a shitty, right? Like when we have to teeter these lines so specifically. Is there a female bird crusher? Do you have a question in the front, Mr. Rez? Go ahead.
Don't you find it's the same for since we're talking about comedy? Look at Matt Rife.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many people say like, "Oh, it's just because he's hot."
Who's the Matt Rife equivalent?
Well, when I was younger, it was that lady. I forgot her name. I did. I forgot her name.
Perfect.
No, but she's big,
Perfect.
and now people like she's older now. She doesn't do as much comedy, but she did movies.
There was
and
one.
What was her name?
Who's Bert Kreischer's
the goofy burp. There's one I forgot her name, but she used to open for that comic as well. She's like a bigger lady. She has giant boobies, and she
There
has to be
are-
more burlesque.
don't know her name. But that's
But here's the thing: I also don't watch Bert Kreischer, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
as if
I don't know how to explain this.
I cannot. How can I say this? It's such a, especially comedy, it's such a lonely pursuit that to put them all together, like
Mm-hmm.
women do have it harder in comedy.
I would say we
Because
have it harder.
at the beginning you have it easier. Let me explain. Let me explain.
Go.
Because you will get more spots that are not yet deserved, because most shows they want to have a female voice. Like good producers
Sure.
will like, no, I want to have at least one or two female comics just to to bring another point of view
Okay.
to the room. And as a producer myself,
Mm-hmm.
it brings me joy to see my audience, like my female audience members, hearing something that they relate to, for sure. And there's how many female comic, like the female comic to male comic in the city, in any city, it's usually 1 to 10, right?
Okay.
So these ones at the beginning, they'll get more opportunities because there's a need. It's a market. It's capitalism. There's a need for more, so they'll get more. However, arriving to a certain point, it's up to you. Arriving to a certain point, it becomes harder because here's the thing: a female comedian on the road, I feel sometimes unsafe on the road when I go on my own. I can even imagine how hard it is for a woman.
Sure.
So
But my
also
point is,
audience members, men naturally, because comedy, there's a bit of nagging, there's a bit of complaining.
Yeah.
Naturally, men have already difficulties hearing their partners nag and bitch. And
But
now you
that's-
add, like, I don't want
yeah.
to hear another woman.
But that's the problem to me. That's what I'm saying.
That's your challenge.
Why can you only listen to the one woman in your life?
Me personally?
Nag or no? But I'm saying
Yeah.
people in general. So when I say
I don't
that,
know. Because it's not fun.
but it's not that. It's that I have listened to
Yeah.
many.
Oh, by the way,
men.
and women also they prefer male comedians. Because women,
Yeah.
they're a group of women, I would say maybe 30% of the world, the female population, are
what are
turned
these
on.
stats?
I'm just, inventing numbers out of my
Yeah.
ass. Are turned on by a man's brain. His ability to be funny and to be witty and to be smart. They're like, ooh, that's
anybody would
sexy.
like that.
That's sexy. No.
What are you talking about?
course
Who
not.
wouldn't want someone who's witty and smart?
But if you're looking for, if you work out 6 times a week and the important for you is the body, you're not gonna date a schlub who's funny.
These are all temporary things. Everyone knows that, right? Like you need someone.
Attraction is attraction, whether it's temporary or not. What I'm saying is that
But sure.
there's so many dumb men who look great to get laid.
But when
we
I
can
say
name
the
them right now.
difficulty of that, so let's go through that. Let's
Yeah.
say I
So
get
yeah,
into
it's
comedy
tough for
because
you.
I'm a
just
girl
saying,
and
yeah,
somebody
it's
gets
tough for
in.
you. But
Fine.
it's also tough for men.
And then I'm but no one's saying that it's not tough for men. I think it's the recognition of like if a guy has gotten to step 10,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like he had to climb those 10 steps.
Yes.
But for me to get to step 10,
Yes.
I had to climb like 30, like out of the basement all the way up.
Why do you say that?
Because we are not, because every time, for every, oh my God, you're so funny, I'll get, oh my God, I hate women, but I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Which is like, which puts you in a different mindset, right? Like everything, when the
So
men
you're
are,
putting yourself in, when you said it puts you in a different mindset.
people are putting you in this box where you have to climb out, where you have to be like, I am the Lorax of women, right? So it's like, if I had gone and bombed, they're like, we fucking hate women. I'm never going to go see a women show.
Yeah.
It's like, but why? You've seen, how many shitty guys have you seen?
Yeah.
Right? But it doesn't matter. There's always going to be room.
Okay, as an artist whose goal is to self-express,
Yeah.
let me be your friend. Why do you care about what people say? Just do your thing.
What do you mean care about? Well,
Like, oh, he said, women. I usually don't find women funny, but I found you funny.
but when
This
I say,
should affect you as much as like you suck. Why? Just
first of all, I'd kill myself. So yes,
yeah,
that would
you
affect
see,
me.
you shouldn't. You're in the worst business. If this is truly how you feel, like, oh, this is gonna destroy my life. I'm gonna kill myself.
Not for nothing.
Joanna, you're
I
in the
would say
wrong business.
I thought that I was so like such a resilient person of what I've gone through with like my friend group. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very, and then I started comedy. I'm like, no, I'm not, because nobody knows what it's like to be rejected by like 60 people 3 days in a row,
Yeah.
all at once. It is
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah,
but it's
it
good.
makes you stronger.
For
And just so
sure.
you know, it will continue. When you'll be 10 years in, you'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
thinking
It'll
like
just
me.
be
You'll be
80,000
talking to a
people.
mini Joanna. Hi. And you'll be like, why are you letting other
But
people's
again, I'm not
opinions-"
saying it's not about care. It's not about this. It's about people who, when you talk about advancements or opportunities, things like what you're talking about now about women getting opportunities, is I'll say it's yes and no here. And then like I know in theory what you're saying about a guy will want a woman on a show, let's say,
Of
right?
course, yeah.
But that's
and a woman will want to win on a show too.
but it's harder to find like when people have. Okay, let me real. I'm very pro like DEI initiatives and things like that. But the problem is that you'll find like the shittiest female comedian, neurodivergent comedian, whatever, throw them on. You don't set them up for success, and then when they fail, it's like, this is what happens. I could have gotten a more qualified person. I'm like, no, you could just look harder. You could look harder for like these people exist.
Are you talking about me personally?
No,
Okay.
I'm talking about in general,
Mhm.
and that's what I'm saying. So when
You think so? You think people they'll like, okay, I need a vagina, and they'll just throw a vagina on
100%.
sound stage?
I'm sure that I would like to think that I'm funny.
Not,
I'm 100% sure that in my
not-
life, Many people have just been
That's
like,
not
we
a
need a
good
girl.
producer. You must value the quality of the show.
It doesn't, but it doesn't matter. It's not, but it's not just producing. Is what I'm saying is like, I have friends. I know, you know,
I care about the product. That's why I have a problem with DEI, because if you care about DEI, okay,
tread lightly.
you care about DEI. I care about the product.
Why are those two things in conflict?
I care about the mission.
Yeah.
Understand? I'm mission oriented.
Yeah.
So the mission is what's important for me.
Yeah.
I will choose the best person for the mission.
Okay.
If the mission requires ABC, I'll try to get it ABC. I do not take into account the mission in the world. Because if you care about the mission in the world,
what's the mission? Is it purely being funny?
like let's say for example, I'm producing a show. I want the show to be good. So I will choose the best soldiers to put them on this mission. Regardless their skin color, their sexual orientation, their pronouns, where they come from. I want the best something for the show. Now, because I care about the mission. The mission for me, the way I define my mission is have a good show. If you phrase your mission, I want to have a good show in a world where everybody is DEI, whatever, then that's a completely different mission.
But it's not DEI. You can't.
Whatever.
You can't value excellence if you don't value diversity.
You see, that's where we're different.
Why?
Let's say I'm building a car. Okay, I'm building a car. And there's two people.
No, sorry, use something else because we're talking about people. So cars are.
But the mission is a good show.
Yes.
A good show, laughter, right?
Yes.
My experience has taught me that just get the best people and put them on the show, regardless of their. I don't think having a diversity makes the show better. Sometimes it does. Sometimes, hey, by chance. But the goal, if I want to have, let's say, 5 good comedians.
Yeah.
If I want to have 5 good comedians,
yeah,
my goal is to have 5 good comedians.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't take you on the show when you come on the road with us.
Sure.
You're not there because
you're
a brown.
No, but my point is that why do we only call into question the bestness of things when there is diversity?
What do you mean?
So when people say DEI, right, nobody's saying like you have to hire a less qualified black, brown, female, whatever. They're just saying find them. So yes, it's harder to find them, but they exist.
Listen, I see again. I'm a mission-oriented man. I see the resumes coming to me.
Yeah.
And I choose the best.
You know what's crazy about the resume story? Once upon a time, Jon Stewart, love of my life. Yes. If I weren't Christian, I would worship Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart said when he was working at the Daily Show,
yes,
somebody kind of called him out on only having like a bunch of white guys, and he was upset and he like yelled, and he was like, "Can you fucking believe this shit?" He's like, "Mark, Steve, John," and he was like, and then he started to look around, and he said, "I found that crazy because one of the rules at the Daily Show was that they always had to cut off the names or something of like so they were only getting CVs with no names about it." Yeah. So then Jon Stewart was like, "Okay, let me switch that." So he asked whoever was in charge. He's like, "From now on, I want you to cut off the names still."
Yes, of course. This is how it should be done.
Yeah. He said, cut off the names, but make sure the same qualifications, but I want half of them to be women. So if you're going to give me 100 funny guys, that's fine, but you're going to find me 100 girls the same way and cut out the names. And all of a sudden,
hey, good for him. He has the budget to do all of that.
100%. But they hired the women. And then he was saying, and then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, wow, women are all of a sudden funnier. Absolutely not. They were there. But that's when we talk about systems and things like that. It's like, but the system is not made for us because there is somebody picking those names. There's somebody who's like, oh, I know Amer, and Amer knows a couple like funny people. Yeah. But that's why. So yes, it takes longer and it takes more time. Forget comedy, right? But in general, but the problem with the DEI thing is that people are like the amount of time someone will say that to me is like, I just want the best person for the job. Yeah. Fuck you. Like you for sure, assuming the best is one, there's one best person, you don't have that person. You have the next best, you have whatever you can access best. But there are qualified and good and best women and qualified and good best men and black people. Yeah. So when someone is just filling out a quota, just doing DEI, that hurts it for everybody. But they're not there for the mission either. So that's why what I'm saying is like DEI,
Listen, we're saying the same thing. Get the best person for the job.
Yes.
What you're saying is that if you have an income, if you have the ability to look and maybe fly someone from a different city.
No, not even sure. Hey, that's it too. But I think it's
fine by me.
But I think it's
then
also
get ready that the product is going to be twice more expensive.
No, but I will say that I think that you do this, and I think that there's a couple producers who do. It's like I think have seen something in more marginalized voices, and maybe they're not as funny as other people.
I
But
assure you, it does not take into account when I book them.
Fine.
Also, I book people that I like. Like I like their company off stage. That's so important. That's
Sure.
advice to anybody who wants to become a comedian. Be super. All comedians are annoying.
Be kind, be fun.
No, all comedians are annoying. Every single comedian is annoying and wants the spotlight. And I understand when you get older, you understand that we have a place for that. It's called the stage, and then you can have all the attention on yourself. Off stage, be useful.
Yeah.
Just be useful, or just don't get in the way. That's what I always say. Just if you know that you're a weirdo, just be on your own, and then be as weird as you want on stage. I like weird people. I enjoy weird people. I like people. I like
weird and creepy.
Sorry,
it's a fine line between weird and creepy.
That's fine.
Amer.
That's fine. It's okay.
I don't look.
All right. Next question.
There is a money thing. Sorry. Well, no. I think I wanted. We talked about different things. I just want to talk about the way that your conflict, because sometimes like I said, you say things in a way that I hate, and I'm like, but I let it go, and I'm like, it's okay.
That's fine.
He must have not meant it. He must have. No, it's not fine. It doesn't.
You used to think sometimes I'm like, hey, lady.
Like what? Oh yeah. But even that to me is like, that's why emotions are so important, because sometimes you'll have a reaction to something, and I'll be like, I wonder why you had that reaction.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to be inward. It's like, what is it about me?
It's trying to be what?
Like to look inwardly, to be
inward.
like inward.
Inward.
I-N Ward.
You tried to act.
I'm trying.
You tried to act.
It was his 9-year anniversary yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you wish him happy 9 years to Vance Michelle?
Our resident black comedian.
Our resident black comedian. Shout out to Akeem.
Peter Bowen.
For
Umar Tayeb.
name black. Umar's not black. I guess yeah.
Umar is not black.
Where's
He's from Africa.
Oh yeah.
You racist.
I'm so sorry. I was like, Umar's
Umar
like Middle
is
Eastern.
not. Are you serious?
I'm so sorry. I just
Umar is darker than this table.
That I was.
And you're like, he's not black.
I thought he was Middle Eastern and just like a brown Middle Eastern. But
he's
you're
still
right.
black. You have to be from a certain area to be considered black.
I think so.
No,
like from a certain continent.
You look at someone. If he's black, he's black.
Okay. I don't know. If
see,
someone,
Joanna, when I say so, like, what is?
But why would that make you upset?
It's not upset. It's that your definition of what is black has been determined by those 3-4 books that you're like, you have to come from specific parts of
But
Africa.
there's a different. The Middle Eastern experience is not the same as the black experience.
You're still black. Okay. Oh wow. So it's if the experience is different, you're not black. So Bruno Lee, who grew up with horses and money,
I was thinking about a
black?
certain. Wait, what?
Bruno Lee, he's a comedian here in Montreal, and he talks about how like he grew up rich.
No, of course
so he's not allowed to say he's black.
No, but Bruno Lee is not black the same way Umar's black.
They're black. They're just black.
Different
black
podcast.
does not. Okay,
I'm gonna send you the Denzel.
Why
clip.
does black have to come with a background? Why can't they just have black skin?
They can.
Joanna,
they can.
Do you understand where my?
But why are you getting perfect? But why are you getting so frustrated?
Because it worries me.
That what?
That someone you're unable to look something with your own eyes, and you're like, no, I can't think this. Even I see it with my own eyes. I have to remember the rules that I was told by these books that lack logic and common sense.
It's not a lack logic and common
is
sense.
Someone who has experience. Blank is. Joanna.
You would put
black is black.
Peter Bowen, Akeem Hoy Charles.
They're black.
Bruno Lee, even.
Bruno, yeah.
Do you think that they've all had the same experience that Umar has?
Wonderful black people.
Yes, they are, but
they're black.
But they all grew up here.
Who cares? They're black.
Yes, but
take a baby. Tell him. Point to the black guy, like Gaga black.
But maybe this is why we argue. Is because we're talking about two different.
I'm saying black.
Yeah, but
it's a color, Joanna.
As a color.
It's a color.
Yeah, but it's also a culture.
Yeah, but black is black.
No,
you can't say this guy is not black. Do you understand how crazy it is to look at Umer? Gabe, if you don't mind, just put a photo of Umer Tayeb right here and go. Is he black? Like the fact that you had to question his
because
blackness.
I'm talking about.
You understand where my not frustration, but I'm in awe.
Unemotional,
of your inability to like to see something with your eyes.
But who's saying inability? I said he's black.
He wrote this. He wrote that. Those guys like Orwell and Aldous Huxley, where they said that we come to a certain point that people had to deny the things they see with their own eyes.
Yes.
Because they have to but what about the books say?
Yes.
I have to. I don't know.
Even though I see with my eyes. But we are literally talking about two different things.
We said black, Joanna.
Yes, but
we just said black.
But in my mind, we were talking about culture, and in your mind, we were talking about color, right?
Black is black.
But do you but
even Joanna, there's no black culture. There's 1,000,001 different black people. Africa is as big as this freaking most of North America.
yes.
And the guy who lived in Congo, and the guy who comes from Zimbabwe, completely different culture.
Correct.
And the guy who come from Haiti, completely different culture from a guy who grew up in Haiti but grew up in America.
Yes.
Completely different culture.
Yes.
The only thing they have in common is they're black skin and huge cocks. But mostly they're black skin. So yeah,
Okay.
you can say they're black.
Yeah, but
And
I'm not.
and I have no.
But
I don't put the only thing they all have in common. It's not their culture. It's the skin color.
Well, some of them have their culture in common as well, right?
Yeah,
But this is why we're talking about two different
but
things.
for me, it's a person. Again, it's a person. I'm talking to a person. Everything he did until the moment where he said hi to me, whatever it is, does not affect how the few minutes that I will spend with him. I do not take into account. I'm like, hey man, what's up?
But why don't you take that into account?
But why? I'm in the present with him. I'm in the present moment with him. My
But
intentions are good, and I'm a good person. I move my life knowing that I'm a good person, and the person I'm talking to, hopefully, they're a good person. So who cares?
Wouldn't
about
a
their
good
background?
person care about someone's lived experience and their background and how they got to that place?
Of course, but I don't take that into account when I'm interacting with them. I'm a good person, and I interact with them the way I interact with everybody, as a good person with good intentions.
Yes, everybody does that.
Okay, but why do I have to take this whole baggage that I think that they might have and put it on their shoulder?
You think that they might have what? Finish that thought.
Like the fact that, let's say I'm talking to a black person, I don't care. First, I don't give a shit he's black. Let's start with that.
Okay.
Okay. But why do I have to take into account this whole culture that I think that he might
But you would
have?
understand him more. When I ask
I
you,
understand everybody. I take whatever people say from their mouth, and I I construct our dynamics based on that, regardless
but what
of
they
their
say,
past.
this is exactly what we talked about having siblings. It informs your past, informs your present, which will
Okay.
inform your future.
Yes.
So when you understand, when you make the effort to
Yes.
understand what someone's culture means to them, what it
Yes.
means to be brown or black
Yeah.
or a certain kind of black or a certain kind of
I'll
brown.
do this through them.
What do you? Okay.
In the sense that it's not like, this is the image I have of the culture of this group of people, and I'm gonna interact with that person based on that. No, you are you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
But
enjoy I'm gonna enjoy your culture through your mouth.
Yes.
That's it. That's it. Every new person
But
is
a
as
culture
if an alien
isn't-
that just landed on this planet.
But a
because
culture is necessarily collective.
whatever it is, collective or not, whatever he's presenting to me
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm gonna take. Period. That's it. You understand what I mean? Like whether I see, again, we're talking about black people here, but let's see, whether I see a black person coming from Africa or coming from Haiti or coming from America, whatever whatever opinion or whatever thoughts I have about their cultures, what I think their culture is, I'm gonna take in. Because I don't have a relationship. If you have a relationship with one black person, you don't have a relationship with all black people.
100%.
You're with this person.
Yes.
So I'll go. Everything that they throw at me is how I define them. And the more I know them, the less blurry they become as a person. You understand?
Sure.
First, they're just a person.
Yes.
And then like, they have a name.
Mm-hmm.
This is the opinion about the
Very
subject.
individualist.
And this human, this entity, this son of God.
Yes.
Is a person all by himself that has been touched by his culture from his youth, growing up here or there, and why.
Yes.
And they are who they are. They are their own culture in my mind.
But that's impossible. You cannot be your own. You are.
I truly think so.
You are part.
You don't represent Sri Lanka.
Correct. But I'm part of the Tamil community, right?
Fine, but
So when
everything, the more I talk to you, the more I interact with you, the less
more
blurry
you know about
you become.
me.
The more exactly, but that's all I care about. You are a member of
But
whatever society.
wouldn't knowing about me,
Yes.
wouldn't you want to know about my culture?
Through you exclusively,
Why?
because you're what's important.
But I can't. But I could have a very different experience.
That's fine.
About somebody else, right? So you would need
Perfect.
to learn from.
If I meet another Sri Lankan and then they present to me a different, I'm fine.
Exactly.
But my circle of concern is as big as my asshole. It's it's pretty big. No, but in the sense that it's the
I feel like I
people
burped
that I
4
interact
times in
with.
this podcast.
You understand? It's the people that are like,
Yes.
hey, This person is now existing in my life. You represent Joanna Silveraja.
Yes, but our world
That's
is
it.
bigger than you and I.
Sorry?
Our world is bigger than you and I.
But in my world, you're the only one.
But-
Right now, my world is you. I'm not thinking about anything else, but I'm listening to
But
you.
the world is bigger.
Fine, but I'm not.
That's how you're able to.
But the world is what you're living in the moment. If you start thinking about this whole universe, I would crumble and die. I would cry. I would be incomplete. I would think of all the people that are dying across the world of hunger. But I don't have.
You
no.
should think about that.
No, I should think about you and making sure that you and I having a pleasant or unpleasant, but this is the moment. This, we've been blessed by God or Allah or Yahweh or whoever you want to say. We've been blessed with this moment.
But
And
me,
this
this
is the only thing that matters.
But this is, I guess, fundamentally where we
How do you have
diverge.
time? But don't you think that
But I
affects...
think-
It's so important to be with... Again, who you are. Again, this is also why I have issues. Some people have issues with me because of the whole Middle Eastern situation. Because
what? I'm joking.
you are you. Again, the more I interact with you, the more precise, the more the more in focus you are, the more I see you exactly, the more I see you in HD. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. That's
Oh.
all that matters. If anyone, okay, here's my problem with people who show empathy to a very huge scale. At a certain point, it becomes like BDSM. It becomes like I want feeling sadness towards other people's suffering that are thousands of miles away is so egoistical because it brings them nothing, and it just makes, and you feel just because you're sad that either you did something right or B, you have the correct feeling. And for me, having a pleasant with my circle, whatever my circle is a billion times more important than feeling empathy with people who are thousands of miles away. Because if I'm able to create in my circle the world that I envision for the whole world, that I have succeeded with my life on earth. If I'm able to create peace and harmony on this planet in my circle, hopefully, listen, I'm in show business, hopefully my circle will be the world. But if I'm able to create this beautiful world where you said it last time, like, Amer, you never talk shit about your ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
Amer, you
should.
No, I'm trying to create a word of peace with no boundaries and no, like, it's so important for me. The world that is around me. I've had this talk with Eugene maybe a couple of weeks ago. I think it was Guillaume, where I say, and this is a bit crazy, people should only care and vote for things that affect them in a 3-kilometer radius. That's it. Because if you try as a person to have a utopia, I try to turn my life into a utopia where everybody feels loved and equal and there's no hatred, no fighting. There's no one, you know what I mean? I try to create that world. If, let's say you're what, a meter away from me? Your 3 kilometers is different than mine, but we have a lot in common because we're close. If everybody takes care of this 3 kilometers around them, I'm pretty sure the world would be a better place.
But our 3 kilometers.
I say 3 kilometers, but
Whatever I'm saying.
It's a radius
But
of concern.
as people who live,
Your radius of concern.
people who live in the West, people
Yeah.
that have more access to
Yeah.
the world at large,
Yeah.
our 3 kilometers can go much longer than someone over there. So it's our duty to care.
They should
Care about themselves.
No, care about the 3 kilometers around them.
But what can they do? They don't have any of the accesses that we have.
The 3 kilometers around them, if you try to focus on that, that forces also the people who are in power to care on that. Again, you cannot force it. It's a utopia. But I can live in my own utopia. No one can stop me from living in my utopia. My utopia is that the people I interact with, you're the
But
important
this
people in
is-
my life, and it stops there.
But don't you think that the Trumps and the Musks and
How does that affect me?
but they are doing the same thing. They are like my 3 best friends, the 3 billionaires in the world.
Yeah.
We're all happy.
It's a location based.
What do you mean?
It's not like, oh, my best friends, whatever. It's location based.
Fine.
Whatever. Listen. I don't know.
But they're the
not in
only
my-
ones who
If they were in
can.
my circle, then I would advise them differently. But they're not in my circle. Maybe one day they will be. I
But
don't
the
know.
point is like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, right? So
Yeah.
you affect your circle, and someone's
Yes.
like, you know what, Amer said something that was really interesting to me. Then they go into a different circle,
Yeah.
and then they go and they go and they go, right? That's
Sure.
the point of the global world.
Listen,
So you have to care about those people.
I care about the people around me. I cannot, because here's the thing: we're lucky. We live in Montreal, so you have people from all across the world, and there's Arabs in my circle, and there's Jews in my circles, and there's women in my circles, and there's young people in my circle, and there's old men,
4 women in your
and
circle.
there's old men. No, I have fans that are women. There are women in my life. That's it. Just care about these people. Why are we gonna care about what's happening hundreds of thousands
Yes.
of meters away from you?
Yes.
But how do you care? Explain to me, how do you care, and where am I wrong? Where my opinion is that people who care so much about things that are thousands of miles away, they have like a pain fetish, where like they need to feel, because it's what's happening is terrible. I'm not saying it's not terrible. I just want to point out whatever horrible thing is happening across the world is terrible. It's sad. My thinking, and maybe it's false, but if I create harmony in the world around me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that harmony will continue and spread to that part of the world. That's how I
Sure.
feel about the Middle East,
Sure.
because this is the one that affects me the most.
But it's easy to do that here, right?
But who are you to think that you can do anything else but then take care of your circle?
You can, but when I talk
like,
about
no one can. Like, that's the thing I find. We moved the camera. Hopefully we're still.
you moved it. You want to check? What time? What are we at? What time is it? It might be TBC. This should be TBC actually, because you're saying a lot that I need to.
1 hour and 14. We can stop now. Actually.
Yeah.
So yeah.
God bless everywhere else outside of Montreal, but to Amer, only the people at M Hostel this hour.
No. You see, I think that idea I think I was under a lot of mushrooms when I came up with this. With this thought, because worrying about people thousands of miles away was just bringing me sadness, and I'm an action man. I'm a mission man. Okay, so I'm like, what can I do? Middle East. Let's start with the Middle East. I tried to create a peace world between Arabs and Jews in my circle.
Through your comedy.
No. As a person, who I am, as a person, I try never to make any Jewish person feel less or attacked, and the same thing for Arabs. They're my brother. So I'm like, okay, if I can create this utopia in my world, maybe like a virus, like a positivity virus, this will go to other people, and they'll try to create that in their own world, and so on and so on. And who knows? 100 years from now, we have peace in the Middle East. That's all I can do. I'm a single person, and I can just create the utopia. I create my utopia, and I hope, hopefully
I don't
the
think
world
you're
will
wrong.
follow.
I think that you're partly right.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This has
Bye.
been the first. Did you enjoy it, Joanna? Did you enjoy it?
I did. Did you?
I did.
Well, okay.
Do you think I didn't?
I don't know. I can't read you. I also burped like 10 times on this cast.
What should we call this podcast, Joanna?
Peace in the Middle East.
No.
Peace in the Middle East /
No.
I don't know.
The Joanna and Amer podcast,
Take
episode
over.
1.
The hashtag I disagree. That's what you should call it. I disagree.
The I Disagree podcast with Amer Joanna. Guys, listen, if you enjoyed this format where the other person has a voice, it's not just me. It's not just an
It's true. You
interview.
interrupted me a lot less.
Yes.
I appreciate
Here we
you.
go. Thank you so much for listening, guys. It's been Joanna. Let me shake your hand.
A pure pleasure.
A pure pleasure.
Okay.
Look, guys, huh?
Above the board.
It's true. That would be.
Let me shake your hand, bud. Anyway. Thank you.
Did you enjoy this, Joanna?
I did.
All right. Guys, listen, maybe you'll see her again on the podcast, or maybe she'll start her own. God knows what will happen. But thank you so much for listening.
Thank
Let
you.
us know. Slide in my DMs, a message in the comment section. Let us know what you think of this podcast, and if we should have more Joanna on the podcast.
Yeah.
And thank you so much.
My
Thank you
future's
again
in your
so much.
hands. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. I love you, Gabe. I love you, Jean. Bye, everybody. Bye.